So when we clear our clutter, we clear our minds. When you recognize that that physical clutter affects you mentally, then already you've learned something. So at least you know that I'm going to make my bed every day. At least you know I'm going to wash the dishes at night and not have a sink full of dishes when I wake up every morning. We're overloaded with stuff because we have this perceived value that this stuff is of value.
How's it going, everyone? Thank you for tuning in to yet another episode here on the Unlimited Power Show. And it's summertime, so you know it's time for summer cleaning. Not just the cleaning of your home, your house, your business, your mind, but the overall cleaning of yourself, decluttering your life. Have you done that lately? Today I have the pleasure of introducing to you all David Hall. How's it going, David?
It's going great, Edward. How are you
doing? Thank you for coming. I'm doing great. It's another wonderful day to live. You know, that's how I see life in general.
Beautiful. Well, I like your optimism for sure.
We will get you on this show, talk about your dreams, aspirations, goals, whatever you want to discuss that's going to help somebody get better.
So thank you so much for being here on the Unlimited Power Show. Like I always say, I don't introduce anyone to the show. I allow everyone to introduce themselves because I believe that everyone can make the best possible impression.
Great.
So with that being said, David, why don't you give us a little quick introduction of yourself, your background, and why you wake up every day?
All right. So pleasure to be on the show, and I hope those tuning in get a lot of value out of the next few minutes together. My name is David Hall, and I'm the proud founder and chief clutter clearer for A+ Clutter Clearing. It's a lot to say, but just remember A+ is the score that I like to get from my clients, customers far and away and near and far. The bottom line is that we all have stuff. We have stuff in our homes, we have stuff on our computers, we have stuff on our minds, and I'm your professional clutter clearer. So what I end up doing is taking your space, either home or office or computer, and clear the space for new possibilities. So I give helpful hints to my clients, and I can do so on your show today, for every room in the home.
Yeah.
And again, the idea is to be uplifted. So when we get rid of stuff we're no longer using, that's no longer serving us, both physically and metaphysically, we are lighter. We are lighter in our load of what's in the home, and we're also lighter in our minds for what's next, what's possible. The contrary to that is a lot of people have asthma, a lot of people have nasal congestion, a lot of people are just maybe in a funky way.
Yeah.
And I suggest that when you clear the clutter in their home or their car or their office or their storage area, they're actually going to free themselves up of all this stuff that's more or less dead weight. That's what I do in a nutshell, and it's been very, very successful as a business and very successful as a way for me to be giving back to my friends and community and my clients around the country.
Yes, that's 100% true because like us, we're trying to be highly productive beings. You know, I mean, at least if you're an entrepreneur or if you're just a regular person, you want to live your best life, correct?
Absolutely.
And how can you do that when everything around your life feels cluttered? You feel like you're trapped in your own home or you're trapped in your own car.
That's right.
Like, for me, like I've had my car really cluttered all the time, and there's a big difference between when my car is clean and when it's not clean. You know,
you feel better. You feel better about yourself.
You feel much better about yourself.
There's a reason for that. So when we're in control, and I don't mean overly in control, I'm not talking OCD. By the way, my home and my car and my space is clear and clean, but it's not OCD. It's not like, oh, I have to have it just so. So I like to think of a healthy way of being in control means that you purposefully have things where they belong in your house. So a lot of people have their laundry all over the place.
Yeah.
And that's a good place to start. I've had many clients that just are overwhelmed by the daily chore of running a household, being a parent, taking care of the kids, having a career, and oh, by the way, the laundry is piling up because it's not something that you know, it's not a life and death situation. On the other hand, that laundry represents out of control.
Yeah.
And when you look at a pile of laundry, whether it's clean or whether it's dirty, I suggest that that's representing out of control. So mentally, you're experiencing out of controlness.
Yeah.
And that doesn't help you when you take the next phone call. That doesn't help you when it's time to do homework. That doesn't help you when you're cooking dinner for 4 kids and you feel frazzled. So everything in the home, everything in the office, everything in your life, when you have a sense of order and a sense of control, helps you be aligned, helps you feel connected, and helps you feel better overall.
You know, what you just said is that if you have one part of your life all over the place, then it gives you that mindset of things being out of control.
In all parts of your
In
life,
all parts.
that's right.
So it's like the analogy of the first thing you're going to do in the morning is, make your bed.
That's,
Says
a
lot.
perfect example.
This is a lot about how the rest of the day is going to go.
That's one of the examples that I share with folks online on my Facebook page, A+ Clutter Clearing, and it's one thing that I share in person.
Yeah.
If you want to start off the day purposefully and in control, the exact example is make your bed. And it may not take a lot to make your bed. It's just a matter of getting the pillows aligned and getting the covers back up and kind of straightening out some of the, some of the wrinkles. When you get back home at the end of the day, you feel like, wow, look what I did. I treated myself with respect so that I have a bed that I can feel good in at the end of the day.
So pretty much focusing on the details. And we talked a lot about A+ Clutter Clearing.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit more about you. What you say where you were?
Where I grew up and
where did
what
you
I'm
grow
doing,
up?
what I'm up to?
Yeah.
So I grew up in New York in a town called Mount Vernon, New York. And I lived there for 18 years. I'm the youngest of 4 kids. And my birthday is in May. And I just turned a whopping big number, 60. I know I don't act it, but sure enough, 60 is the number.
Happy birthday, bro.
Thank you. I can't believe it, right? 60. So I feel better than ever. Business is fun, friendship, love. My son is 18. He's graduating high school in about 2 weeks. So I'm very proud of him. He's going to be going off to college in a few months. And while he got accepted to FAU, I think he might be going to FSU. Let's see, what else? I have 2 cats. One's named Fibonacci. The other's named Carl. Carl has a 5th finger or an extended thumb, so he's kind of funny, and you can do high five cat paws with him.
Yeah.
And I love playing Ultimate Frisbee. I love volunteering for nonprofits.
What is something that you can tell us that we're normal day-to-day entrepreneurs and people who are trying to be productive? What are some tips that you can give us in decluttering things around us? How do we get rid of excess stuff?
Okay. Well, first there's a mindset of I have enough. So in America, we're consumer oriented. If you go into a public supermarket or Whole Foods and you're looking up cereal and you go to the cereal aisle, what do you see? 5,000 boxes of cereal. You got honey nut crunch, green, gold, purple, and orange. You got a low fat, high fat, no
it's all
gluten.
sugar.
We have excess.
Yeah.
And you go to another country, you're lucky if there's anything on the shelf like a loaf of bread. So our mindset is consume, consume, consume. I need to have a new car every year. Why? I don't know. The car company said there's a new car coming out in 2018 or 2019. So our mindsets generally are gotta get more, gotta get more, gotta get more. So I start the day being grateful for everything, being grateful for my lungs, being grateful for my eyesight, being grateful that I have a brain and a heart that works. I know I didn't start the day going, time to get my heart going. So I'm grateful for the magic that is life. I think out of that comes other cleansing opportunities. So I like to say a nice word to people, kind of random acts of kindness. You can do that at the gas station when you're putting gas in your car. You can do it at a fast food place. You can do it at Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks. I like to say when I go to different stores, they say, is there anything else I can get you? I said, yes, have a nice day. They smile, they take a moment, and they go on with that rat race that we're all accustomed to being in. So in terms of clearing clutter, in the home, I would say it's really important to have your bedroom as a sanctuary. Most of us have our phones plugged in by our head, our computers plugged in by our feet, and we are in this electromagnetic wavelength that is just not supportive of health and wellness. I understand though, we want to have full capacity on our batteries, but at least put the phone away from your head, away from your nightstand, put it in another room, put it on the floor. Another thing is to always close the seat cover of a toilet down. Based on Feng Shui principles, which I incorporate in my practice, having the seat cover down means that finances are not going out and down the drain. Something simple like that can shift you from feeling like you don't have enough money to I have plenty. So close those seat covers. In the kitchen, how many of us have junk drawers? Everybody has a junk drawer. I'm not saying get rid of the junk drawer. I'm saying look at it, clean it out once in a while, like once a month, and be intentional. You probably don't need little twist tops. You probably don't need an old toothpick. You probably don't need a screw that was for something to hang up that you just never got to.
Yeah, but we feel like we might need it at some point.
This is a lack of mentality. We fear that we might need that screw, so we'll save that screw through thick and thin. Then when we want that screw, a little screw to put in a picture on the wall, we can't find it.
Because there's too much clutter.
We're overloaded with stuff because we have this perceived value that this stuff is of value. And so I have clutter cleaning clients. I know that's a lot of clus. Clutter cleaning clients. Some are, I have a Purell scale. You know what Purell is? That antimicrobial liquid?
Yeah.
So Purell. So I have a 1 Purell bottle to a 5 Purell bottle. 1 Purell is common. We're just always looking to clear up those piles on our desk. Maybe we want to make our office feel more flowy, more feng shui. A 5 Purell client is somebody where I have to go in with gloves and a hazmat suit and a face mask because it's really overdone. People with a lot of clutter like that, a 5 Purell clutter bottle person, they really need the service, but they're really resistant. They're resistant to have themselves exposed that they're out of control. And that's what it's representative of. Their home is out of control, their life is out of control. Things aren't working. Illness happens, divorce happens, violence happens, car accidents happen, all because they're not in control of themselves. When I have and take control of their space in their home or office, things open up for them. All of a sudden they feel better. It's literally a breath of fresh air. And of course I open up the windows and get that place feeling alive. So there's a lot of tricks to the trade. There's a lot of energy that I bring to a job. One of the things that's really important is many people have attached garages, attached garage in your home. So we spend a lot of time and a lot of money making our front doors look beautiful, right? We've got a nice welcome mat, we've got a mirror, we've got a end table and a lamp, and we've got beautiful marble floors, and we've got chandeliers, whatever we got in the front door, it's magnificent. And what do we really do every day? We come and go through the garage door. The garage door, we don't spend even a moment's time designing. So we have laundry detergent, we have broom handles and Swiffer mops, we have pesticides for gardening, we have the Costco run of paper towels and toilet paper. We're tripping over ourselves in the garage. So one of the things that I love to do, and it's one of the focal points for any clutter clearing job, is let's take a look at that door. Let's make that door magical.
Yeah.
Let's make it sing, let's make it inviting, because that's generally where people, when they come to their own home, enter and exit their home every day. Subliminally, if you've got a lot of junk and a lot of shelves and it's chemical based, it's creating havoc in our lives. It's making us not well. So here's another thing about the house.
Yeah.
A lot of people like to have their house smell like cookies, or like to have their house smell like evergreens or petunias, and so they get these plug-ins, right?
Yeah.
And you buy them in the store. I'm here to share some not such good news, and maybe some good news if we make a change. Those plug-ins, they don't really have ground up cookies in those little jars that we plug in. They have, guess what? Chemicals.
Yeah.
Non-stop chemicals that smell like cookies. And when we breathe that in, it's totally unhealthy for our brains. It is a damage to our brains from a standpoint of whatever those chemicals are, and I'm not familiar what the contents are.
Yeah.
But I recommend, if you want to have a home and you want to sell it, use a realtor. And if you want to use a realtor that is healthy, then have really fresh baked cookies smelling the home into a place that you love.
Yeah.
Really get those plug-ins out of the house. True too for candles. Many candles, maybe beeswax, maybe some natural candles have natural fragrance. Many candles have chemicals in them. So we're lighting them up thinking, oh, it smells great in here, and we're really doing brain damage. And I'm not trying to freak out the audience, I'm just here to educate and let you know that there are alternatives. There's essential oils, there's diffusers.
And those are stress relieving oils.
They're stress relieving, they're relaxing, and they're natural and they're healthy. So these are things that we are like spending money on because we have to have more, right? Because down that Publix aisle 6 or wherever candles and plug-ins are, you know, we think, oh, let's make it smell like lilacs. My cousin loves lilac smell. Get real lilacs, get real flowers. Plants, living things in your home bring life to your life. This is why
oxygen to breathe right around.
Oxygen to breathe, you bet. Why do you go in and you go into a Chinese restaurant? There's always goldfish. There's goldfish because goldfish is prosperity and good luck, but there's also something living. That aliveness makes you feel more harmonious when you're in the space. Lighting's another thing. So how many people work in offices that are watching this program and they've got fluorescent lights? Fluorescent lights, they're very efficient because they don't use up a lot of electricity, but that's not taking into consideration the human. It's taking into consideration the bill for the corporation. So getting natural frequency lights, getting a regular lamp that has no fluorescence in it would be better off for your well-being. This is why people have migraines.
Does that also
headaches.
do it with your productivity? Because sometimes when I'm working, even in here, when the light is bright and it's like all of these are on, I want to dim it down a little bit.
Absolutely.
Because it just makes me focus better.
Well, so it makes you focus better, so that's good news, and you know how to handle it. So turning off the fluorescent lights is definitely a way to go. It makes for more mood, meaning you feel better. It's more intimate, it's more natural. So if you can turn off the fluorescent lights, always a better way to go. In the kitchen, how many of us have bags from the grocery store? How many of us have 5 million bags? I know I have to keep track. You don't want more bags, and I understand that we go around with more natural bags, and sometimes they're in our trunk, and sometimes we get them, sometimes we forget them. So at least get rid of the 5,000 bags and bring them back to Publix or recycle them best you can. But just to hold on to 5,000 bags, and I'm making up a number, doesn't help with our being clutter-free. So better to have what we need. Other areas of the home. Our closets are a huge area of excess. Why? Our weight changes. Our styles change. We might move from New York to Florida. We have all these winter coats and winter wear that we're just not going to wear in Florida, but we might go up to New York during Thanksgiving, so we might need to have one winter coat. Over years, and I'm human, so over years I've purged and gotten rid of more and more stuff. Just recently I got rid of some suits because, let's face it, as a clutter clearer, I don't need to dress up too fancy. Public speaking, I need to dress up. So I don't need 10 suits anymore. So I got rid of them. I gave them to veterans groups, so that people that need a suit for a job interview or for a special occasion, so we share. Doing that makes us feel better. We're not only getting rid of stuff that doesn't serve us anymore, we're actually being benevolent and charitable and helping others that may need that kind of support. So it works in all directions.
And that even goes back to being gracious, for what you have, and that you're able to say, I'm abundant in all these things that I have. Why don't I share some of these gifts that I've been received? So
it totally opens up your heart, and it opens up your ability to give. So it's a lot of people in need out there. So when we have a closet filled with how many shoes and how many purses and how many this top, that top, and this kind of clothing and that kind of clothing, doesn't serve us necessarily. So I do a lot of clutter clearing in closets.
So with all the people you've worked with, what is the relationship between people and things? Like the things that they have, how much do they feel like I can't let it go? Is it really like I really need to hold this on to my life? What do you usually see? It's
a great question, because that, I call it a resistance level. What are you resistant to? Are you resistant to letting go, or are you open to letting go? Generally, when I get a call, it's almost like a 911. I got a 911 call the other day. A woman said, I just don't have the money. I don't know what to do. They're going to kick me out of my house because my house is a mess. And I said, let's talk about it first. And then we set up an appointment for the next day, and I went over there, and the house was filled with mail, snail mail. And it looked as if bags and bags of mail from the post office had been dumped all over the house. I was like, what happened here? Was there a fire, or was there something that happened? She goes, I just can't get a grip on it. I said, well, I'm here to help you. And so we started just with one corner of the garage, and we started making space. When I start seeing the floor and the client starts seeing the floor compared to piles and piles of mail and piles of junk, there's a sense of there's hope.
Yeah.
And so if I can bring a little hope and a little sunshine into the day of the client that has that much of a resistance to getting rid of things, I said, why don't we open up this mail and get rid of it? She goes, no. I said, well, it's old mail. Why would you want to keep it? She goes, let's just load it up into garbage bags and we'll take a look at it another time. I said, okay, because it wasn't for me to solve her problem of opening up the mail. That's deeper psychology and deeper therapy. I'm here to move the space around and hopefully open up some freedom for her. So she got some other workers, she got some other people to help her, and we got her garage as a start. If I can ignite a change in somebody, I've done my job. If I can take care of the whole house, then super. And if I can leave them with some lasting hints about how to control their life more, then I really hit a home run. Again, it depends on people's resistance level.
Yeah.
Sometimes people just need to clear their house out and they're putting their house for sale, in which case that's a different, MO, that's a different need. The good news for me is, genuinely, people don't change their habits just because I want them to. So 6 months later, they'll call me up, guess what? You know that garage that you did such a fine job on? I'm gonna need you again for a couple of hours. We're back to the old ways. So there's a recurring business model that I have.
So there's a new service you need to have. How to keep clutter out.
Yes, and it's a mindset.
You gotta be able to coach them through that, because then that psychologically is not good for that person.
Absolutely.
I get clutter in my life, I get it out. I get clutter in my life, I get it out.
When you recognize that physical clutter affects you mentally, then already you've learned something. So at least you know that I'm gonna make my bed every day. At least you know I'm gonna wash the dishes at night and not have a sink full of dishes when I wake up every morning, because that blows your energy, it blows your chi. I work with Feng Shui principles, so I'm real into observing how a house is laid out. And just moving a couch, a chair, moving a light, moving the bed in the bedroom, all that shifts the energy around. And just the other day, I went into a space and the bed was underneath a window. This is not good Feng Shui, because energy is going out the window. There's no safety and security. So in a bedroom, you want your bed to be facing a wall that is secure and is a full wall, not a window. We moved his bed. Next day, he's reporting back, I just feel better. I slept like crazy last night. That's what happens with Feng Shui, principled moving and clutter clearing. I worked with another client. She has a lot of podcasts, and she works with a lot of people that have issues with their weight and their well-being. She goes, I don't like spending time in my office. And notice I'm not telling you who this person is. I'm almost like a doctor where I'm working with you and there's privacy and HIPAA laws. She's helping other people with weight, and yet she says, I can't spend any time in my office. I don't know what it is, David. What is it? And within 5 seconds I said, are you open to coaching? She said, yes, very much so. I said, where your desk is and where you're sitting is not working for you. It's allowing energy to fly out this room and not have you grounded. So we need to really focus on putting you in the driver's seat in your office with a wall that's substantive and has a foundation and strength. And let's put some books behind you, and let's have that podcast look great with some books about how to lift your life up. And sure enough, the results are her business is better than ever. She's actually, excuse me, I get all excited.
Good.
She's actually got more business, and she's enjoying her office space. So this.
What's inside your house tells a lot about you.
Absolutely.
Do you make up your bed in the morning? What are steps you're taking to actually declutter the things in your life? Because that also becomes how you're living. It's not just like what you have around. It's where your mindset is at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So that was a that's very interesting talk, because this is a pivotal part of most people's lives. You're trying to lose weight, you're trying to like go over an addiction, or you're trying to finish school, but you can't study, you can't try to figure out what's going wrong. Like, if you don't have a space where you feel, like you said, your bedroom, or you don't have a space where you feel in peace, a lot of times you're too stressed. You know, sometimes I find myself get anxious when I'm trying to look for something and I can't find it. I'm like, I really need this right now. I need to go somewhere, and it ripples. It ripples. You looking for something, you can't find it, you're late to work. You're late to work, somebody says something at you, your boss gets mad at you, now you're like, I'm stressed. Now you're at work, you're performing not as good as you, below your potential. It's all a ripple effect, and sometimes we have to look at the basis of
the source of that,
the source of the problem.
The cause of it, yeah, and it's how you wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's how you went to bed last night. So if you went to bed with headphones on, watching a computer, and having your phone by your head, you're already starting off in a way that's not optimal. So what I like to do in the service I provide, the reason I have joy in it and passion for it, is that it really changes people's lives. It's not just about straightening out the book. It's about having your life work for you, not you working for your life.
That is amazing. You know,
Cut right there.
Yeah. So as we conclude this, one thing I like to ask everyone is, what is one piece of advice that you could give to anyone watching to inspire them to start to declutter their life? You already gave a whole bunch of advice on that, but it's to inspire them to start what they've been trying to start, whatever that is.
All right. Piece of advice is start small.
Yeah.
Oftentimes the whole house is a mess. Let's just start with the bedroom. Make your bedroom a sanctuary. Don't have a lot of books in your bedroom, and there's a real reason why with Feng Shui. So books represent knowledge, learning, discovery. It's okay to have one book by the bedside and read that book. But if you have a whole bunch of books in the bedroom, what that creates is brain waves. It creates energy for thought. Really what we want in the bedroom is not so much thinking, we want more heart. Sorry about the mic. We want more heart to be expressed. We want sleep, dreams, lovemaking, relaxation, and a sense of calm. So turn that bedroom around, because we spend half of our lives in that bedroom.
Yeah.
So I would say if there's a place to start, a place to get your act together in terms of organization and decluttering, start in the bedroom.
Great advice.
Thanks.
So how can anyone watching now connect with you and, you know, get your service, get your coaching and your mentoring, because this is deeper than what's on the surface.
Yes.
So can you give them your information?
Sure. I'm available by text, by phone. My phone number is local at 561-706-7779. Again, 561-706-7779. I do a free consultation to take a look at your space, and then we charge by the hour, because you just don't know really how many hours it's going to take to get through your stuff. I'm also on Facebook. You can like me on Facebook and love me in your home. That's my tagline. You like that?
it.
Like me on Facebook, love me in your home.
Like me on, well, I guess this is your tagline.
All right, well, you can borrow it if you'd like. So Facebook, just go to A+, the plus sign, A+ Clutter Clearing, CLEARING. There's a difference between cleaning and clutter and clearing. Cleaning, it's like scrubbing, and I get that done too. Clearing is about changing the space, changing your energy, and changing your life. So clearing is a much higher dynamic. So I'm a A+ Clutter Clearer, and I'm the Chief Clutter Clearer Officer.
Well, thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on the
Is
show.
that CCO?
Yeah, exactly.
We have CCO David Hall here, everybody, and thank you so much for being on the show. I know everything you said is very useful, because there are a lot of cluttered people out there, you know, including me at times, and we need to declutter our lives. And if there's one thing that you can get from this is make your bed in the morning. Take one less thing that you don't need and get rid of it, and start to realize that everything that you do have a fundamental, have a basis, or what you said has a
Source.
source. There's a source from all the problems that you have. So to begin to change things, you have to look back at the source. So I want to thank you so much for tuning in here to the Unlimited Power Show. And I want to remind you that you have the unlimited power to achieve whatever it is that you want. But until you believe that, the world will forever miss your talents, your gifts, and all the great things that you have to offer. So thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, let your light shine. Don't hide it. Don't dim it. Please make sure you like this
that.
video, subscribe, share it, and tune in every Wednesday and or Thursdays for a new episode on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful, wonderful time. Thank you, David.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Edward. Thanks for the opportunity.
It was pretty.
Please be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video.